How do we talk to our customers today who are reluctant to give up their low rate and move up? How do we talk about to people who say that there's a hesitancy to pay over asking price or waiting for rates to come down or afraid of the housing bubble? Let's take one at a time. Where are we today? The top chart shows you the savings rate. The savings rate in the United States pre-pandemic was 10%. Then you got stimulus one, stimulus two, stimulus three. But since then, we have spent all that money and more. We have drained our savings from a savings rate of 3%, 10% to 3%. At the same time, let's look at credit cards. Pre-pandemic, we were jacking up our credit cards pretty darn good. But then we had the pandemic and we got this big stimulus check. And while the economy was shut down, we took the money out of savings from stimulus and we paid down our credit cards. Now, that's a good thing. But since then, we've been jacking up our credit cards and we surpassed the previous all-time high in a big way. In fact, we are now well above $1 trillion to a new all-time high in credit card debt. But it gets worse. We used to pay 14%. Today, we're paying 25% interest on average. 25%. Look, if I told you folks, hey, I've got a great investment that's a guaranteed rate of 25% rate of return, you might say, well, that's wonderful. Let me put as much money as I could in it. Well, people who owe credit card balances, they will get a benefit of 25%. If you don't have to pay it, it's like making it. All you got to do is pay down their credit cards, but they're not paying them down. They're increasing the balances. It tells you that the consumer is under stress. And just starting this week, student loan payments are coming back. Now, unpaid credit card balances are up 16% in the past year, and they're up $270 billion from where they were a year. The average balance on a credit card is now $8,000 per card. And how many cards do your clients have? 5, 6, 7 versus $4,000 per card. Overall delinquencies are up 50%. Seriously, delinquencies for those under age 40, 9% of their credit card balances are 90 days delinquent or more. And with student loans, 30% of people under 40 have student loans. How about car payments? Average new car is $48,000 with a payment of $1,044. Home equity lines are 9%. So people are under stress. So what do? You can consolidate these debts. Let me show you how. So you've got a customer and they come in. They've got equity in their home. That's the benefit. Back in 2008, the average loan to value was 81%. People only had 19% equity. Today, a home's value is 52% equity and 42% mortgage. The average equity in a home is $250,000. Think about that. Lots of equity. So customer says, I've got a 3% rate, 3.25% rate. Well, maybe you have a 3.25% rate on your mortgage, but if you take into consideration your car loans, your credit cards, your blended rate is probably well over 4, well over 5, maybe over 6, maybe over 7. So you only have a 3.25% rate on your mortgage, but you've got all these other debts. So if you take a real case study, clients got a rate of 3.25 on their first mortgage, but today's rate, maybe it's like 7.25, and they're hesitant to buy the new home. Why? Well, because they bought their home 6 years ago for $500,000. Today they owe $400,000. They with a $400,000 mortgage, but the value of the home's gone up. So how do people do a move-up purchase? They do it with you all the time. They say, okay, well, today my home's worth $695. I could sell it for $695. My remaining balance on my $400,000 mortgage is $343. So I deduct that. I deduct the closing costs to sell, leaves me with $317,000 to use for down payment plus closing costs on the new home. So if closing cost on the new home is $12,000, that gives me a $305,000 down payment. You know, this is how everybody does it. But what's the problem with that? Problem is that their payment's still going to be too high. You see, they want to buy the new home. They need it. They had a kid. They need the room. They want the backyard. They want the garage. They want the location. They want whatever it is, they want to do it. But what's holding them back? Well, in order to do that, now they want to move up home. Today, it's worth $850. So an $850 home minus the $305,000 they have for down payment means a $545 mortgage. But wait a minute, $545 mortgage at 7.25%. Their monthly payment's going to jump $2,700. They don't want to do that. They get scared about $2,700 a month. But wait a second. Here's where you have to think like an advisor. Jeremiah talked about it right at the beginning. This is a 64 loan to value or 36% down. That's how everybody does it. Say, Mr. and Mrs. Client, wait a second. Don't put all the down payment that you're taking from the old home as down payment on the new home. You have all these debts. Let's eradicate your debts. Use that for down payment. use it to pay it off and put a smaller down payment, take out a bigger mortgage. So instead of a 545 mortgage, we'll take out a 661 mortgage. And now all in, the difference in monthly payment from what you're paying now for everything to what you would be paying on the new home, since you have no more debts, is $97 a month more than what you're paying. I've seen some where it's cheaper on the new home. I've seen somewhere it's a couple of hundred, $200, $300, $400 more on the new home, but still that's doable because they need it and they want it, but it's not $2,700. That's too much. So what you want to use is debt consolidation to do this. Now, I'm hearing from several of our clients that every week we're hearing more and more and more people use this strategy in solving the biggest problem that's facing you. The biggest problem that real estate agents, I'm hearing in surveys, is that my client is reluctant to give up their low mortgage and buy the new, more expensive home with a higher rate because the payment difference is too much. Well, if they have debt, then this could be your answer.